told that the cameras were down.
Well, I don't know who said that.
But that was in the news.
We're giving you all the footage we have.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson is, in fact, the man who killed Charlie Kirk?
Yes. At this time, the FBI doesn't have credible information to connect any foreign governments to it.
Dr. Simon Goddick says that Alexis Wilkins is nearly 20 years younger than Kash and also works for an NGO that's basically Israeli intelligence. That's PragerU that he's referring to.
I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
Kash Patel is out here doing more to punish critics of his rumored honeypot girlfriend than investigating who was behind Charlie Kirk's assassination. And now this criticism isn't just coming from random people online. Joe Rogan just joined forces with Candace Owens, and they're openly calling out Kash for being flat out incompetent and questioning how he went from a podcaster to FBI director. Now, if you haven't been glued to the news lately, you may have missed some major updates about Kash Patel. So listen up, because this one's a big deal. So Kash recently talked to Megyn Kelly to give an update on where the Charlie Kirk investigation stands, and he made an insane Freudian slip that instantly reignited speculation that a foreign government could be involved in Charlie's assassination. But that's not even the craziest part. A leak that's been circulating claims that after Charlie's assassination, Kash crashed out because he didn't have an FBI raid jacket on him, and he refused to step off the plane until someone brought him one. So now Joe Rogan is saying the quiet part out loud. Is Kash just unqualified and bad at his job? Or is he a deep state actor installed not to investigate or deliver justice, but to protect the elites? Well, let's just say this rabbit hole goes deeper than you think.
And the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy theories.
So Joe Rogan already made it clear that we're being lied to about Charlie Kirk's assassination. He questioned the strange decoy who is now in jail and cannot be interviewed, the rifle used, the FBI's claims that Tyler Robinson took it apart and put it back together, the lack of drone footage, and much more. And he even had Theo Vaughn on to discuss the possibility that Charlie was shot by a drone.
They got me.
How much longer does Israel let us stay alive, do you think? That's the big question.
What are you saying they did?
That they had, were compiling data on people that were there, and they were operating a lot of the drones in the sky that also had weapons attached to them, which is scary to me. That's what's scary to me, that a drone could go by. That maybe that's what happened to Charlie Kirk. Who knows? Maybe a drone, you just have no, who you can even point the finger at. A bullet comes out of the middle of nowhere.
But now that it's been 3 months since Charlie was assassinated, and we're still being gaslighted with the same story that makes no sense, Joe Rogan is pointing the finger at the man he believes should be held responsible for the lack of transparency, Kash Patel. And this comes shortly after Kash's interview on Megyn Kelly's show, where he accidentally slipped up and said more than he was supposed to. So Megyn asked Kash if he genuinely believes Tyler Robinson was acting alone, and Kash immediately got defensive and claimed they have no evidence foreign governments were involved in the assassination.
Do you believe he acted with the help of anyone else?
This investigation is being led by the Utah state authorities because it is a investigation, so the FBI is a supporting role in the investigative process. The investigation is ongoing for us.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson is, in fact, the man who killed Charlie Kirk?
Yes. At this time, the FBI doesn't have credible information to connect any foreign governments.
But Megyn never asked about foreign governments. She just asked Kash if he believes Tyler had help. So it's very telling that this was the first thing that popped into his mind. The craziest part is that in this whole interview, Megyn asked only very softball questions, and yet Kash still managed to mess up. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Kash is now also under fire from FBI agents who compiled a report slamming his leadership and claiming he doesn't even have the basic knowledge necessary for the job. The leaked report, obtained by the New York Post, was compiled by a national alliance of retired and active duty FBI special agents, and they wrote that Kash has neither the breadth of experience nor the bearing an FBI director needs to be successful. They go on to call Kash insecure and lacking the requisite experience or the measured self-confidence to be FBI director. The report specifically cites the Charlie Kirk case, alleging that Kash may have compromised the investigation investigation and then took credit when the suspect was arrested, even though other agencies had done most of the work. And it doesn't stop there. The report also describes a bizarre incident when Kash allegedly threw a tantrum over a jacket just one day after Charlie Kirk was shot. The report claims that on September 11th, Kash flew into Provo, Utah, and reportedly refused to disembark from the plane without an FBI raid jacket. According to the report, someone then gave Kash a jacket that belonged to a female FBI agent, but Kash noticed 2 areas on the upper sleeves did not have Velcro patches attached, threw another tantrum, and still refused to step off the plane. Members of an FBI SWAT team took patches off their uniforms and ran those patches over to stop Kash from crashing out, and only then did Kash finally agree to disembark. Now think about that for a second. Why is Kash more worried about wearing the right jacket than doing his job? Well, a lot of people are saying this just proves he's not actually the director of the FBI. He's just playing one. Someone commented, the fact he refused to get off the jet without that jacket confirms he's only playing a role and not in charge of anything. And then other people are saying that, jacket or no jacket, Kash always looks completely lost and out of his depth. One user on X shared this video of Kash looking like a deer in the headlights and wrote in the caption, "No one has ever looked so incompetent wearing an FBI jacket as Kash Patel. He hasn't got an effing clue what he's doing. The guy looks like he's awkwardly standing at a costume party. Who the F hired this guy? Oh wait, but seriously, who made Kash in charge of the FBI? Well, one theory that's getting a lot of traction on social media is that Kash is controlled by his alleged honeypot girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, and she, again allegedly, works for the same foreign government that many people believe was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
People are accusing you of sort of being the honeypot.
For people to act like there's not enough information out there about me to glean a real conclusion on all of this kind of vigilante research, it's bizarre to me.
So people are pointing out that Kash completely flipped his stance on a lot of issues after he started dating Alexis. For instance, back in 2023, Kash was publicly calling out the FBI for protecting Epstein's clients.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
But fast forward to now, and Kash is claiming the FBI has no credible information that Epstein even had clients.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
So, between the alleged Epstein files cover-up, the rumored honeypot girlfriend who some say doubles as a handler, the claims that Kash used government resources just to go watch his girlfriend perform, and then the absolute mess they made of the Charlie Kirk investigation, is it really surprising that most Americans are now calling for Kash Patel to resign? But here's where it gets even crazier. Instead of directly responding to any of these accusations or, focusing on the job taxpayers are paying him to do, Kash is now telling people to stop spreading conspiracies and to focus on what he thinks should be America's top priority.
We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel, and that is not what Kamala Harris is about.
Well, you heard him. So now the question is, can this man be trusted to get justice for Charlie Kirk and expose who's really behind the assassination? And how much longer do you think Kash can play the role he's been allegedly assigned?